All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging and Friends. We're playing some Orbital Blues today. As we said approximately 3 or 4 years ago, we're going to play this right away again, and here we are.
We're back
right away.
We were looking back at our last play, and we were shocked to see how long ago it was, especially since we really like the game. But yeah, we're playing some Orbital Blues. If you're unfamiliar with Orbital Blues, it is Sad Space Cowboys, basically, is where you're at. Oh, there's got one too.
Yeah, they just rub it and they've got the book. It's just,
I got two of them. I've got the Orbital Blues book, and then I've got the Afterburn book.
Jeff, don't one up people.
Yeah, it's just
no, it's what I do. I'm a topper. Sorry, it's just naturally comes to me.
I wouldn't be able to hold the vampire collection.
Oh gosh, yeah, you'll beat me on that. I don't know if I have any physical vampire books. I have hunter and werewolf books. I don't have a lot of vampire books. But yeah, we're back, and it is Orbital Blues Month over on BackerKit too. So, which is part of the inspiration for getting back to this. It's been in my head for a bit. So, but if you're interested, go check out BackerKit. There's a new supplement book. I think it's Outlaws and Corporations or something like that. And then there's a few other different like scenarios and adventures that are up there too. So, I think it runs through May 1st. So it's like 3 weeks away, something like that. So go check it out. I've already backed some of those or all of those. I can't remember. I have a problem. And so I back basically everything. But yeah, there we go. Can
I just say how hyped that intro video makes me? Like between the perfect music and then the cool effect where it looks like the vinyl record and then like the rings on a planet. Like I was just jamming along. I'm excited. Let's get this going.
The music is so good. It was when I was listening back to our first run of this, like the music was, just makes me so happy.
I do want to point out that I found that myself. I didn't make it, but I found it myself. And then we were talking. So I was talking to Steven the other day, and Steven got very excited, and I also got very excited because he knew exactly what I was going for when I was doing the record spinning. So I was record spinning, planet rings. So yeah, it was a good moment. And so now he's trying to recreate that by pretending.
I just
that
wanted
it's
to
an
say it publicly.
now.
I'm not recreating anything.
Bringing the audience into the private conversation.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we do a quick hello, as we've got a couple new faces, and we'll just sort of do a little quick round table here. Who are you? Like the person, not your character. Like you can tell us who you're playing. Like that's fine. But we'll probably introduce more of your character in play itself. But who are you? Like, what do you do? All that kind of good stuff, and who you're playing. So, Mark, I'm going to start with you, and then we'll just sort of rotate around.
Yeah, I'm Mark, one of the GMs at Tales of Myth and Mayhem. Mostly do horror and really like hanging about with these guys. So, very glad to be invited back. Thank you very much.
And who are you playing?
I'm playing Lorna Grant. She was the sister of the character that died, 3-4 years ago now? Long time.
Sounds right. Yeah. Real world time, at least.
Yes,
maybe it was
time.
Just a year ago. I don't know.
Actually, it was on your actual birthday.
That's right. I died on my birthday. Yeah. That's right.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
You wanted to, though. Let's not paint this like
no.
You were all about that. Exactly.
Definitely. I went over.
And that was a pretty epic death as well.
It was pretty great.
It was great fun.
That was, we played kind of two scenarios a couple years ago, and one of them was basically inspired by Justified on FX, and the other one was inspired by Die Hard, and you died in the Die Hard one. Yes. So it was perfect. Made sense. Yeah. Awesome. Melissa, who are you?
So Melissa, play here on Adventures in Lollygagging, and I am reprising my role as Freddie Parker. I'm not sure if this was revealed, but I was going back through our planning Discord when we were playing last time, and Freddie is actually short for Winifred, but I did threaten everyone that their character will get a knife in the eye if the name is ever used publicly, but Freddie is short for Winifred, and she used to be a chef.
Interesting. Is that before or after Steven got a knife in the ear in our Hunter game?
That's a really good question that I would have to go back and see.
Definitely before, I think.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Man, what is it with knives going into various sensory organs and things?
I don't know.
Okay.
And that was me, Melissa, threatening that to the characters too, which was a little off-brand for me to do that. But yeah.
Just a really great short story called Emergency by Dennis Johnson, which starts off two guys getting high in the 70s, working in a hospital, and a dude comes in with a hunting knife in his eye. It's a really good story. Anyhow, Steven, who are you?
I am Steven. I am Jeff's best friend. That is my role here at Adventures of Lollygagging. And I am playing Nicky Fontaine, who is the gambler. He's very fond of just betting it all, seeing how it goes. Losing it all is kind of the fun too, especially if he can get other people in trouble with him. He's also very fond of elaborate ruses and disguises, and will go to Kinko's to print business cards to support those.
And don't forget that he loves noodles.
Kinko's. And he loves cup noodles. Yes.
And noodles, the cup of noodles. As a gift, I sent Steven shortly after the last time we played, like a big old collection of noodles, like instant noodles. So I just sent him a bunch of stuff.
I have cup noodles.
Like I
for
said,
dinner.
we're best friends. So, you know.
I haven't sent him anything since then. So that should tell you about the state of things. Steven's also being modest, and he's forgetting that he is a world-renowned ttrpg designer, as he has designed a wonderful game called Huckleberry. We're playing a space western today, but if you want more of like a traditional western with like horror elements and like weird supernatural stuff, check out Huckleberry. Steven made it, and we ran on the channel too, so it's a lot of fun.
So you see, because I said I'm his best friend, he then felt guilty and felt like he had to like talk me up to like balance it out. Yeah. You notice that? Yeah, we all noticed that.
It hurt saying those things, but I said them. So anyway, moving on. Levita, who are you and who are you playing?
You know what? I'm Levita. I'm I can't stop myself from playing in games on Tales of Myth and Mayhem.
Half of Tales of Myth and
Don't
Mayhem.
know about that. And I've started running games as well in the last year. That's been exciting and a different thing to try out. So, and then tonight I'm playing Robin Hawkins, who is a kind of security specialist in a sense.
Okay, I like it. Okay, so we should say like the Orbital Blues, like the little descriptors we have underneath each people's name. It's not like a class or anything. It's more just like the vibe, right? Like the vibe of the character in some ways. So I have a couple starting questions for you all, and then we're gonna get going in the only way I know how is in media res. So we're playing in our own variation of, you know, the Orbital Blues verse, right? A space westerny Firefly kind of style. So, but we're playing specifically on an outer rim of a system that is controlled largely by 5 criminal families. And the last time we played, we met a few of those. We met the Bennetts, we've met the McGregors, and the Wei Chen. Like these were 3 that we named. And in some ways, they are better than the corps that are in the core. In some cases, they're worse. But at any given time in the game, like in the universe, your crew, which is your ship is named the Belafonte, your crew is in dire straits with one of them, meaning one of them wants to kill you. And then there's another one that you're in bed with. And the other 3 are kind of whatever. So I'm going to ask you a few different questions about that. And again, compared to some of the corps, they're not like powerful from a verse standpoint, but they're the big fish in the smaller pond that is the outer rim. And compared to various other settlers and inhabitants of these outer planets, they live very much like royalty, and they exploit all these rimward folk and everything. So they sometimes align with megacorps, sometimes don't, etc. But they're sort of the source of a lot of our immediate storytelling. So I'm going to start with Mark. I'm going to go back to the beginning. So there are the ones that we named: the McGregors, the Bennetts, the Wei Chen. The McGregors were they're basically a Scottish criminal family that a few of you had ties to. The Bennetts were sort of, again, inspired by Justified, and the Wei Chen were the ones that were attacking the Die Hard station, Cisco station, last time we played. But then there's 2 others that... So, Mark, which Rim family wants the Belafonte dead right now? It could be one of the ones we've already had, or it could be a new one if you want to create one. And why do they want you dead?
I still have my head canon that McGregor still want us dead.
Okay.
When they got the ship back, because our brother was dead, Lorna said, "No, fuck this," and got them to escape again.
Okay. All
and
right.
calls Freddie Winifred.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
so So you kind of gave the ship back to them, and then you stole it, and then you immediately stole it again. Is that the idea? Okay. So stole the Belafonte from them. Got it. All right. So after paying off like a debt. So that's you. Okay. Excellent. Melissa, which Rim family are you using kind of for cover right now? So which the one that you're kind of in the good graces with, maybe doing jobs for, and because you're doing jobs for them, it's a little harder for you to get to have the McGregors have exacted vengeance on you. So again, it could be one of the other ones, Bennett's, Wei Chen, or it could be someone new.
I'm going to say someone new.
Okay.
And I'm going to name them the Tontolos. Tontollo.
T-O-N. Spell it again?
Tontollo.
Hello. Okay. All right. It's Tontolos. Okay. Do they point at everyone with like their index finger and the pinky finger at the same time? Is that what they do?
Yep.
Okay.
They sure do.
Got it. Okay. And what did you have to do to get in their good graces? Like what thing are you not like maybe particularly proud of? Was something you sacrificed, something you had to do to kind of get in their good graces?
So they gonna continue with Freddie's theme of that she really, really, really struggles with like asshole sons of crime families. And so we basically had to go rescue one of their asshole sons who had been like taken captive, and it was kind of like a hostage, kidnapping, ransom kind of a thing. And so we were the ones to kind of like go in and extract. And this individual would really be, the world would be better off if this individual were not in it. But we needed the protection from the family. So we went and did the job, and he continues to be out and about in the world doing awful things.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. And I always hesitate to ask most of this question, but do you have a name for that guy? First
Chase.
name?
Chad.
It doesn't have much the last name.
Chase Tonto. All right. Logging it in. Chase Tontolo.
Panic in her eyes first.
I know. She got the other names, so I figured this wouldn't be so hard. I was like, Tony's right there. Alliteration. Tony Totalo. There he is.
His real name is Maria, and he doesn't like being called Maria, so he gets rescued.
There you go. There you go. I like that.
Yeah, his name is
Someone put the panic in her eyes there for me.
This guy really is an asshole. Oh my god. He opted into that name. Okay. And then Steven, we're gonna go over to you. So the crew of the Belafonte has changed, obviously, over the years. But every now and then, despite what the verse has educated all of you, like to know that don't dream big. Don't dream because they're always going to get squashed. You all somewhat recently took a big swing. You took a big swing and you tried to like deliver on a dream, but you failed big time. And now you're worse off than you were before. So what was that big swing that the crew took, and how did it go wrong?
Okay. I'd like to tie this into my backstory then, where
that sounds about right. That's what Steven does.
Yeah. This is going to be about me now. This whole campaign is going to be about me. Okay. So Nikki has a favorite casino called the Meridian, and there was an owner of it that was for some reason fond of him, despite having no reason to be. And we'll say that the Meridian went bankrupt. And Nikki took a big swing where he convinced everyone to pool their resources, call every single favor we could to buy the Meridian to keep it going. And then we bankrupted it within like a month or two. So we tried to like actually settle down and run this casino. It's just like a backworld casino. It's not like mega hotel and stuff like that. And we just completely failed at it. Probably because Nikki gambles too much.
Probably. The house does not always win at Nikki's casino. Right?
The house always
Did you
loses.
change the
Nikki's
name
involved.
to Nikki's casino? Is that it's no longer Meridian, it's Fontaine's?
Yes. Fontaines.
Okay. And then the last question here, Levita. There's one job that basically follows your crew around. It's the job that you're kind of known for, like your crew is known for. It could be good, could be bad. So it could be something that helps develop a reputation that lets you get hired. It could be bad, something that makes people avoid you. So it could be a good thing or a bad thing, whatever you like. But what do you think that job was?
We were stealing an object, a specific, I don't want to say data chip because that's too closely tied into my own backstory, but documents.
It could be that. Stevens, he's cracked that egg. So
I don't want to lean into that too hard.
We need to tie things into my backstory, not like other people's.
Yeah, we were stealing financial stuff from a company, and we left a calling card of some kind behind. I think it would be we did something to the office that the financial documents were stored in. Maybe we just broke every single monitor in their office area.
Sorry.
Okay, so you ransacked as your little calling card. Not
even ransacking, just making them inoperable and leaving them.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fantastic. So you're the ones who did the CK Holding job. That's what I'm gonna call them. The CK Holdings. That's the name of the company. Okay. There we go. All right. Excellent. All right. So there we go. So that's a few things that may or may not come up. We'll see how it goes. But thank you for that. That's fun. And we're ready to actually start, to actually get into this.
We are. We're fighting in chat about the menu at the casino and whether or not it was actually Freddy created, or apparently it's self-heating noodle cups in styrofoam that come out of vending machines.
It's just, yeah, I like that. I remember the last time, did you get noodles dumped on your head in the beginning, Steven?
Or no, I tried to dump noodles on our bounty's head and I hit the security guard instead.
Okay.
It was an easy way for Freddy to get to accrue the blues. It was just every gosh darn time Nikki was eating instant noodles. It was just instant blues for Freddy of just lamenting when she used to have
I'm a support player. I'm here to lift you all up.
Yep. You're here to inflict the blues on others.
Okay. So, all right, let's get going. So yeah, we're going to start kind of immediate res, and you're going to get an opportunity to sort of describe your character in a little bit fuller light, what they look like, what they're doing, that kind of stuff. So, but here we go. So we're going to say we open. We're going to open in space this time. Okay, we're in space. We see space. We maybe see some debris, a few flickering stars in the distance. But in a moment, we then see the blocky body of the Belafonte suddenly appear in one corner of the screen, crossing across it, and then disappearing onto the other side of the screen. And as we shift gears and start to follow it along, we see that it's weaving through the Cleftone Belt, which is a spread of asteroids and debris that marks the outer boundaries of the rim of the specific system you live in. It's like a graveyard fence with all these bits of debris, both from ships, but also from actual asteroids and space rock. Beyond the rim, the system still sort of exists, but it's mostly dwarf planets that are sitting in this cold shadow. There's deep space even further beyond, and somewhere there is also a broken warship by the name of the Charon, and it is drifting along, and it's known to be out there. It's a known landmark. It welcomes desperate settlers and outlaws that are in need of medical attention. Many years ago, about 20 years ago, there was a terrible corp war that was spread across the entire system, and the Charon was rumored to be destroyed in it, to have been somehow just obliterated. And that's what the reports came up on the infosphere that popped up all the way from the core worlds to the rim. But over time, news started to spread along the rim that it was not actually destroyed, that it had suffered some catastrophic damage, but it was still functional. And it's like a carcass now that's just floating far out there beyond the cleft tone belt. And it's been repurposed somewhat. At least that's the news. Finding it is not an easy thing. There's no course that doesn't take you through these rocks and such, but it's a place that welcomes anybody who needs some kind of medical attention. And people who can't afford to get a real doctor, can't afford to travel back to the core worlds. So only those who are truly desperate, or who book on various passenger ships like yourselves to kind of travel through these rocks the size of small stations and transit hubs that are drifting past. And we see it now as like the Belafonte is like passing through them. Only those people really come out here. That's it. So nobody else does, unless they have a particular reason. You all have a reason, as you have been recently contacted by the Tantalo family, your friends. They want you to follow through on a particular bounty, as there is somebody out here on the ship that on this medical station that they want you to capture. But you're probably not the only ones with the good reasons, because as we're watching the Belafonte travel through this debris and these asteroids, we suddenly see another ship appear, just kind of dropping down out of the dark behind you. And it seems fairly stealthy. It's kind of like it was attached to an asteroid, or just disappearing in some of the debris. And then suddenly we see these dual laser cannons pop up along the undercarriage and fire all this purple kind of lasers, just barraging the Belafonte. We don't hear it though, of course, because it's space. And then we see this long boarding grapple just gets launched like a torpedo out of this huge receptacle inside of this ship. And it starts to scrape along the starboard side of the Belafonte and dig into your panels. And from there, we're going to cut inside to the cockpit of the Belafonte, where alarms have started to blare. There's this cacophony of different sounds and beeps and buzzes. We can see that every warning gauge or every warning meter is starting to blare and go on. There's lights that are starting to flash and blaze like it's a Christmas tree. Maybe one of them pops and sends this glass here and there. Who is at the controls at this moment inside the cockpit as all these alarm bells? Who do we think the pilot is right now?
I'll be the pilot.
Okay.
Yeah, so Nikki's got his trademark red suit on, and he's also got his squirrel, his pet squirrel Fortuna, nearby. The squirrel's not an ominous thing. It's not an angry thing.
I played the wrong music track. I was playing like dwarf music right there. Wondering, I was like, that ain't right.
Fortuna's back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I probably like jump up to the controls when this is happening, and then Fortuna like jumps up with me because her manic energy always mimics mine.
Okay. So like, what do you look like? When we see you, like what were you doing when the alarms wake you up? Like, were you reading something? Were you eating noodles? And then what do you physically look like too?
I think he had his feet up on the cockpit. He was leaned back, reclined, completely not paying attention to anything, obviously with cup noodles, just slurping them down, as Fortuna was on the console nearby, just chewing on an acorn. And he is wearing a red polyester suit. It looks very, very cheap. And he's got like this triangular shaped head, basically. And it just looks worse by his haircut, which he's got the receding receding hairline, but he still like keeps it grown out a little bit. And he is just panicking now as he's seeing all these lights start flashing.
So what do you do in the midst of this panic? Are you trying to do something with the ship? Are you trying to contact somebody else?
I immediately grab the controls and reflexively just pull up. Like, I don't actually know what I'm doing, but I'm like, we gotta move.
Okay. All right. So you're going to make a roll here for the first time. So if you're playing Orbital Blues, you've never played it before, it's mostly a 2d6 games. You roll 2d6 for most basic checks. Occasionally you're going to roll a 3d6 if you get upper hand or if you get against the odds. But mostly you're rolling 2d6 and you're trying to hit an 8. And you're going to roll it with a skill. And your skills are normally a 0, 1, or a 2, whether it's muscle, savvy, or grit. In this case, you can either use your own ability or you can tap into your skills stats or your ship stats, because they also have stats as well. So Melissa, you have all the stuff for the ship. So which stats could he pull from if he wanted to?
So if you're trying to use the Belafonte's mobility, that's going to give you a +0. But you can also, when piloting, pick one of your own skills to use instead.
So it's your call. Do you want to use?
Savvy fit?
I would take. I would take savvy
for like
sure,
reflexes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go with savvy.
I'm going to give you against the odds, however, and the reason I'm going to give you against the odds is there is a umbilical now attached to you.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Real quick,
it doesn't matter.
Just for
I rolled a 1 and a 3. There's
just for a little bookkeeping. So when you use one of your own stats, so when you take the wheel, you spend a heart, and then you substitute your own stat for the vehicle stat.
Okay.
So I'm spending the heart then.
And then fail your roll.
I still flub the roll. With against the odds, that gave me a third die, which I get to ignore because the third die was a 6. The first 2 dice were a 3 and a 1, so I rolled a 6 total.
Do you want to spend heart to re-roll any of those die?
I just spent a heart to... No. We're going to let it fly.
Okay. You're going to let it fly. Okay.
Oh, dear.
So we see Nikki panicking, suddenly reach out, grab the stick, whatever systems you have, pull back and try to just fly. You're in the middle of a debris field. He didn't actually look to see where he was trying to direct the ship is smart. But as he pulls up, we cut outside and we see the starboard side of the ship where this boarding grapple has already sunk into the starboard. Suddenly starts to scrape even further. The ship pitches upward and then it starts to drag down. And then we cut back inside and we see the starboard crew quarters where the sound of like metal on metal is arcing over it normally is relatively muted engine ambiance that all of you have gotten used to, but now it's this like comically loud like metal scrape that just like 2 cars passing by one another and you know it's happening, but there's nothing you can do about it. And then the alarms start blaring across the halls here and there, flashing red lights here and there. Maybe one doesn't flash because you never replaced that bulb, and we see like a bit of the blade of the grapple suddenly punctures into one of these crew quarters, and we see this momentary loss of atmosphere as sucks out before the grapple actually creates something of a suction. Who is walking past the crew quarters when this is actually happening right now? Who wants to step in?
I think that might be me.
Okay, Levita, so like describe what you look like, describe what you were doing, and now describe how you're reacting to this particular instance.
Robin's kind of a bit lanky, kind of 5'8", dark hair, tends to wear black and charcoal kind of colours, very neutral, and she has a very poised look to her most of the time, but that's partly so that she can unpoise herself if she wants to blend into a different crowd or vanish in the event that she needs to. What she's just been doing is trying to plan some stuff find out some information about where we're going to and how this next bounty might go off. And then she suddenly found herself attached to the back wall when the craft took off almost vertically.
Okay.
She's not very pleased about this situation.
So you walk past like one of the crew quarters. It could maybe be like the type of crew quarter that you leave open for if you have like VIPs. Fortunately, you don't have a VIP on the ship right now, but you can see that there's a scrape going through it. You're like in the hallway, braced against the wall, and you realize that if that thing keeps scraping, it's going to create some kind of breach. What do you do right now, Robin, to try to help minimize the problem here?
Run over and try and close the inner doorway that will stop the wall from... If there's a breach and if the oxygen leaves, we have at least got the door closed so that we're not losing the whole ship.
Absolutely. For fun, do a muscle test as you're trying to move. The ship is already starting to like vent a little bit here and there, and so you're doing one of those like walking but grabbing little pieces along the wall to help brace you.
I've got a 3.
Okay, so I'll say as you do, you reach over and you're holding on to like one of the like maybe it's like a vent handle. And as you hold on to it, it snaps, and we see right as Robin's about to smash onto the door panel to close it shut, she just flies back all the way back down the hallway, and she is now just drifting and drifting. We cut then to the engine room, where we can see this patchwork of various rigged equipment that's long past its prime. It's like this mishmash of different brands that are definitely not designed to work with each other, and probably you're breaking all sorts of warranty issues, even if the warranties are still viable right now. But you still normally have that steady working hum where everything seems just fine. But right now, everything is very much not fine, as half the gauges have jumped completely to red. You see steam busting up all left and right, and there's various signals that are popping up on different displays that says you're venting coolant into space. So who is actually in the engine room right now at this moment? So this is either going to be Lorna or Freddy. Who do we think might be in or nearest the engine room?
Lorna be in the engine room, but not doing any engine stuff. She's got a punching bag in there. That generally hits into things and breaks a bit. Well, Lorna's about 6 foot, maybe just a bit over, and built like a brick shithouse. Tattoos going round her arms, written in Gaelic words. Her hair's so redhead, tied back in a thick braid. The fuck are you doing?
You just hear, like, maybe there's an open comm to the Copay, like Nikki accidentally flipped it on, and you just hear him, shit, fuck, shit, what the fuck, shit, fuck, and that's all you're hearing echoing throughout the entirety of the ship. So Lorna, you see everything just completely breaking down in the engine room right now. What do you do to try to help the situation?
Is there something that she would think to hit?
Yeah, I mean, you can...
But, you know, more the sort of person that if the TV breaks, she smacks it on the side to see if she gets a signal back.
You
can try a repair.
See if that helps.
The Fonzie touch.
Yeah. That one's in red, fuck, smack.
So if you want, you can do a repair action, which uses the ship's body stat, which is 2.
That doesn't sound
do that.
Fun.
Well, maybe we could say, like, there's clearly some sort of receptacle that has become dislodged as all these different pipes have started to burst, and like you just see it like starting to snap around and like rip against like the wall itself, and then it's starting to smash into other pipes. If that doesn't get affixed in some way, then you might have a completely and utterly broken engine. So
she's going to use all of her savvy, which is +0, and gets an 8.
An 8? Okay, that is a success. That is our
Perfect.
first success. Okay, so you just like race over, and like you see this like right far above. Maybe there's like a catwalk or something, and you just leap up, pull yourself up like this badass pull up that probably I haven't been able to do in 30 years, and you're able to like reach out, grab this thing, and smash it back into place, kick it a few times. And you dent it so much that it actually wedges it in place, and it works quite perfectly without any issue whatsoever. Meanwhile, we cut to the cargo hold, where various crates, hex containers, we see them bolted and sort of strapped down with these industrial chains and such to walls and floors and ceiling, the central anchor point as well. We can see that Belafonte is clearly shuddering. We still hear the sounds of Nikki, fuck, shit, fuck. And then all of a sudden, something very large and very heavy smashes somewhere into the vaguely port side of the ship. And that's when Nikki realizes he just bumped into a little chunk of asteroid. Just no big deal whatsoever. But what that does in the cargo hold, which is on the port side of the ship, suddenly everything starts going fly. You see these different containers, these container straps suddenly wrench free, rip free, and now there's containers everywhere. So, Freddy, you're the one who's closest or maybe inside the cargo hold. Who are you? Like, what do we see? What were you doing when all this started to go down? And then we'll figure out what you do to try to help things.
So what Freddie had been doing is she has this little kind of like flip down table that kind of folds out off the wall. And you see she's got this notebook open, and she's just sort of like doodling in the notebook. And so she's kind of drawing out these like herbs for when she used to do like a farm to table kind of a thing. And so she's kind of like drawing out the herbs, and then she's like writing out a recipe. And so this is kind of what she does in her kind of spare time, which is also connecting to like, she's a reluctant vagabond. So like she's calling on the things that she misses. And so that's what she had been doing, is just sort of, kind of like drawing some rosemary and, kind of writing out kind of like a, rosemary, butter, mashed potatoes recipe or something. And, kind of like thinking of all the things that we could be eating if it weren't, instant heat microwave types of things. And then the whole, because it was kind of like a flip down desk. And so the whole thing just like flips back against the wall, and she just sort of like loses her notebook and her pencil and the whole thing. And so she's going to, I'm hoping that kind of close to here would be where she might be able to get to like weapon system or something. And that's what she's kind of like wanting to get to, of like, what the hell is going on around here? We've got to like, all right, we're going to have to do something. Go back on offense. Nikki, can you get a hold of this stupid thing and let me aim? And so that's what she wants to kind of be trying to do, is kind of get to where the weapons are.
So maybe, so you're the one who set it at the ship, I think. So do you have like a Gatling gun or something that maybe like
we do. Yep.
Okay, so yeah. So maybe there's like maybe it's like an old school, like World War II kind of bomber, and there's like a Gatling gun seat right underneath this big hulking X. And so, you race down the hall, you're kind of pulling away. Meanwhile, we just hear all of your cargo completely and utterly demolishing itself back the way you came. Yeah. Maybe we hear the sounds of like various like farm animals that you had to deliver, like it suddenly starts smashing against the walls. And you race over into the weapons area. You pull up the hatch and you hop down into the seat, and there's this big hulking Gatling gun that is as bulky and immovable as you could possibly imagine. Okay, and so you want to try to do something. You want to try to shoot this thing at whoever is attacking you. Is that right?
Yeah, so especially if she is able to see, and I will either shoot towards the ship if it's possible to see that we're kind of trying to kind of have a hook on us to try to like get that chain or whatever like disconnected, would be kind of the goal if she's able to see that.
Give me an observation test and we'll see if you can from this angle, like you can see the hook, because like you probably wouldn't know about that thing. I think only Robin is probably most familiar with that right now. Okay,
yeah,
but so an observation check is basically just doing 2d6s and what you get was what you get. You still got to an 8. So yeah, I'd say you can't see the hook from where you're at. You're kind of at the bottom of the ship, the underbelly of the ship, and the grappling hook is attached to the starboard side. But you do see these purplish lasers coming at you, and you spot this slick looking dark ship that is behind you and very, very close and surprisingly close. Ships don't get this close unless they plan to board, and it looks like they are getting ready to. So you do see bits of that ship. So
okay, so I still want to fire.
Okay, so you can either use your own, or you can use the ship systems, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I'm going to use the ship systems, and I rolled very well. So I rolled a 6 and a 5, and the systems are a 1. So that is a 12.
Okay, so that is a fantastic success. Okay, so you just start unloading on whatever. You spin around this big hulking Gatling gun, and we see it slowly spin up, and then all these shells start firing. We cut outside into space, and it's just like these quiet streams coming, and then they, one after the other, just poke all these different holes in this ship behind you. Okay. Meanwhile, back up in the cockpit, you have started to collect some very quick and significant data here, Nikki. Your ship bounced off of rock, but it still seems to be intact. There are various gauges that are telling you that you're venting atmosphere in certain places, the engine's out of coolant, and someone's shooting. And also, you think there's a ship behind you right now, as you can kind of, she's starting to pop up on some of your systems. What is Nikki doing at this point?
He's probably trying to clean all the ramen off the console so he can control the ship.
Okay. So you see shorts starting like all these different shorts coming up from where the various controls are.
Yeah. So in his panic, he threw it up, and now he's dealing with the aftermath. So trying to regain like some functions of the ship, I guess, like doing minor repairs is like what I would frame it as. Okay. Trying to that we can redirect like making sure that things close to repressurize certain compartments of the ship and all that.
putting up like emergency bulkhead doors here or there, or like shutting down this one of the engines that just smashed into the asteroid. Yeah, absolutely. What do you want to roll for this?
For the stats, what would our body be for the ship? I'm thinking like just the durability of the ship, if that works.
Okay,
2 for the body.
Is that all right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fine with me.
All right. So I got a 1 and a 5, so that works out to 8 exactly. I saw the 1 and I got scared.
That is a success. Okay, that is a success. So we see like Robin is like flying down the hall at this point, and right as it looks like she's going to smash against something from that explosive part where the grappling hook kind of pulled her away. We see as she flies through a hall door, then the emergency door shuts right after she flies through it, and then she like kind of falls down onto the grating floor and slides across it now as she's in a safer spot. And Nikki, the controls of the ship are still a little janky. They're not really moving the way you want them to move. It feels like there's a monkey on your back as you're trying to fly this thing and move around. Just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Meanwhile, Robin, you noticed that as right as the door was closing down, we'll say you're back by the cargo bay or cargo hold at this point, and you just see all these different like animals are starting to fly out. Chickens, roosters. You could see like a pig is starting to waddle past here and there. You had a delivery you had to make after this. Like the Tontolos don't like coming second, and so they kind of interrupted the specific delivery that you were going to be doing. And so now you have this whole herd of all sorts of farm animals that are starting to spread into the ship at this point, and you hear the sounds of various alarms. What do you want to do in this particular case? Like, Robin, how do you want to get into this?
I think she's probably mustering to herself infinite space in every direction, and he manages to hit something. Getting up, trying to like gather the animals as much as possible and get them back inside, because animals, I imagine, floating around might tend to panic and make more problems.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of poop everywhere right now.
I wasn't going to say it.
I grew up in a rural area, so I've seen this. Not floating animals, but animals that are scared, they tend to make a mess.
Okay, so give me, I don't know, we want to do a savvy test maybe?
I'd be okay with savvy.
Okay. And don't forget, by the way, if you have items or talents or things like that you want to leverage to try to get various bonuses.
Okay, that's a 9 with my +2.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Okay, so yeah, you see just this pig just floating towards you, and then you see like all of these chickens are kind of moving about, squawking like crazy, and you manage to stand up and kind of float in front of them, put your hands up, and slowly start moving them back into the cargo bay, so they don't kind of start wandering down the hall towards the engine room, because that would be a very terrible.
Yeah, and I haven't seen a pig flying like that since I looked at a Pink Floyd album.
And so you just like he's a balloon, you just start walking him back in. Okay, so meanwhile, back in the engine room, we see Lorna has, after like doing her pull up and kicking the thing back into place, it definitely feels as though you're being attacked, Lorna, as every now and then there's some sort of reverberation across the ship, like something just hit the ship. What does Lorna do at this point, as it feels very much like you are under attack?
She goes to where there's a gun.
Okay, do we have a second weapon, Melissa? Do we have 2 weapons?
No, then she'd pull Freddy out.
Okay. We could do we have anything else, like a grappling, do we have like a boarding grapple?
I have a retrieval drone that's integrated into the ship.
Okay, so there's like a retrieval drone. You could try to weaponize that in some way.
No.
Nice.
I should have taken the explosives. Fuck. I didn't. I took the cutter.
So maybe by the time you get yourself back down, we hear Nikki is able to put 2 and 2 together, and Robin is maybe able to communicate that you guys actually have a boarding grapple attached to you right now, and so you know that needs to get off before this ship, like, you're about to have company. So maybe from the engine room you have access to this. You have access to the to this retrieval drone. So what do you want to do with it? What do you think what do you think Lorna would try to do with it?
She looks at it for a second too long, thinking, what? And then tries to steer it towards the hook or whatever. Okay. Tries to use the cameras to try and find where the fuck it is and take it off.
Okay, so outside we just see the drone suddenly pop up a little bit off of wherever it is slotted into your big bulky frame, and you start circling around the ship a bit until you see right there, starboard side, there is a boarding hook connected to you, and it's slowly allowing this ship to pull itself closer and closer. Okay, so you could use the drone to maybe cut through it. Maybe there's like a little laser piece to it, or just maybe pull it off, however you want to handle it.
Yeah, should we try to do it to rip off in something? If that wouldn't work, should we just ram it with the drone? Fuck it.
That works too. Just smash the drone into it.
This is my drone here. You know,
look at Steven. Steven's getting so upset. He was like, "Oh!"
Although sounds on brand for Lorna.
It's not your toy. Yeah.
Right, so
whatever you think Lorna would do. It's up to you. You leverage whatever you think would be fun and whatever you think Lorna would do.
I honestly do not think she would think to do anything finicky with it. She'd be like, okay, this thing needs to go and just checks foot at full speed and ram it.
Okay, then
savvy.
Roll. It doesn't have to be savvy. It could be what's the other one we could use? You could do, I don't know, grit or something maybe. Like the
I
idea.
think the muscle, like trying to force it out.
Could be.
Yeah, but it doesn't really work with other things. We'll go for grit. That's right in the middle.
Okay.
That is not a pass.
Would you like to spend any heart to re-roll any die?
You can spend heart to re-roll. If there's a die you wanted to re-roll, you could.
Yeah, first
you could
of all, she's going to temper and gain a blues and spend a heart to.
Just profanity is just wafting throughout the ship. You can hear him all the way down in the engine room. It doesn't have to hit the intercom.
Exactly. The one dice or both dice?
One heart per die that you re-roll.
Yeah, you can choose as many as you want, but you have to spend additional heart for.
Right, I got a 4 and a 1, so I'll just re-roll the 1.
Okay.
Another 1.
That doesn't happen to me when I would do that last time.
So we're outside, we see the drone speeding towards his hook, and then it smashes into the hook and then just explodes. It has no bearing whatsoever. And then we just see the drone start spinning wildly away from the ship at that point. As we see it sort of bust it down. Freddie, meanwhile, at this point, your Belafonte ship has been twisting and turning, and it's probably now on this turn you can finally see that there is this tether that's connecting you to this ship behind you, and you then you also see Nikki's drone suddenly flying past you in horrible shape. What would you like to do, Freddie, at this point?
Keep her steady. Keep her steady. I'm gonna get us disconnected. Keep her steady. My God, how hard is it? Very hard is the answer to that question, but
Nikki doesn't even have his hands on the controls as he's like scraping up ramen, and it's just shaking wildly.
Like taking a noodle in the mouth, putting the other one away. He's the worst. Why is he up in the cockpit? This is terrible.
But that is a 9 on the systems roll for weapons.
Oh my God, that's another success. Fantastic. Okay, so do you think you target the? Do you think you're targeting the umbilical itself, or do you think you're targeting the ship?
Definitely the umbilical. Yeah.
Okay. So the umbilical. Okay, so you start firing directly at this line, and we just see again from outside these quiet shells just getting launched, and most of them are missing, and then a few of them start to hit, and then finally it snaps. And as it does, you can definitely see that whatever tension was keeping these two ships together has like kind of a reverberation, a rippling effect. Your ship kind of barrels forward a little bit. The other one behind you, you can see like limply coming from where it was snapped. That large chain wraps around and kind of gets smashed into the cockpit of that ship, and you see that ship veer off at that point because of this sudden effect and smashes into this floating asteroid. It doesn't completely explode, but you can see it smashes into it all of a sudden, and you, despite being in a fairly terrible state, limping, you're moving much faster than it, as it is now seems to be in somewhat of a state and much more like dead in the water kind of situation. And when you start looking at your monitors and you wipe away the various broth and noodles, Nikki, and you look at your radar, you can see that it's no longer following you. The little blip seems to be stuck behind you, as it seems that last shot has managed to dislodge the ship from you. What are you saying, Nikki? What do you do?
It's all right, everyone. I lost him.
Yes, it's because I shut the umbilical. We're good. Go. Fast.
Yeah, I hit the big red button.
you hit the big red button and the ship explodes. And that's been Orbital Blues. It's been a great time now. You hit the big red button, and we see from the outside, like one of your engines just suddenly glow as you like hit it into overdrive or whatever it might be. And suddenly you just move so much faster. Meanwhile, your little retrieval drone is just hovering back there all by itself, now a member of this sort of graveyard fence. You all managed to do your best to save some of your cargo, to save from some of your ship. So basically I was tracking successes and fails. You guys had 5 successes overall and 3 failures. I think that's what the total was. But you're able to outpace this ship that is now limping behind you, possibly having even worse troubles than you are. And Nikki, give me a savvy roll since you're up at the cockpit.
Right. That's a 2 and a 1. I'll spend a heart to re-roll the 1 and hope we do a little bit better.
Dude, gosh.
Nope, that's still a fail. 1 became a 3. That's a 7 total.
Yeah, you couldn't make out like a transponder, like in the craziness, like maybe the specific system that allowed you to scan it, like your scanning systems maybe got shorted by some of your ramen, so you couldn't quite make out exactly who was shooting at you. Like you have no idea who that ship was, but you've left them behind, and we watch from the outside as you guys kind of push through this rim, and you find yourselves beyond the Cleftone belt, limping along. One of your engines is all busted. And we know that there are some issues going on in the engine room. You lost a few of your resources. Some of your cargo has been smashed around here and there. But, you're still in a singular piece and you're still moving. Do you guys do anything to sort of close down the scene, to get in touch with each other or anything like that in the aftermath of this attack?
Nikki, could you see what ship that was?
No, it seems like they took out our radar system. They must have hit that with the harpoon thing they shot that had the tether. Yeah, they took it out as it's like fritzing with ramen on it.
All right, we'll turn around and we'll go and get them ourselves.
Turn around? I thought we were trying to get out of here.
They just fucking hit us, you idiot.
Yeah, when someone's shooting at you, you run.
No, you get closer and you smack the gun out of their hand and slap them about a little bit. Unless they really meant it, in which case you rip them apart.
I think we have a fundamental difference of viewpoint on this one. What the... Why is this sheep wandering into the cockpit?
Because we're having mutton for dinner.
Just eating up some of the noodles.
Robin, are you okay?
I've been better, to be honest, but I'm all right.
If you don't mind, you've got a little. And
yes, that's going to happen. I'm going to have a wash after this, okay? But are we safe right now? Is everything? I'm not going to suddenly find myself on the wall of the shower.
You shouldn't. I mean, if Lorna has her way, we're going to go back and fight them again. So I don't think we're going to do that.
Well, so long as Nikki doesn't fall over and grab the flight stick rather than like something more solid.
We
all through the ship, something smash against the wall, and it's just the control for the drone. It didn't do what she wanted to do.
Lorna has a particular way to solve problems.
Yeah, I'm going to wash and probably change clothes, and hopefully everything will be fine.
I'll help you get all of these back in their pens and everything.
Yeah, thank you. I'll do that first, because obviously there's no point in getting dirty again afterwards.
You do need one, though. You'll be okay. You'll be okay.
I'm aware.
Sonic shower will take
I'm
care
not
of it.
happy about the situation. Trust me. And the hygiene is a problem.
So Freddie will help Robin get all the animals re-penned and jump back on comms. Lorna, did you just volunteer me to make mutton for dinner?
Well, yeah. That's what you do, isn't it, Winnie?
And Freddie winces as she does, and finishes kind of putting all the animals back together and finds her notebook and starts flipping back for like a mutton recipe.
Lorna walks in with 2 sheep, one under each arm. 2 sheep. You missed a couple.
And Nikki's just sitting in the cockpit. He starts to lean back and rest and relax again. He pulls another tab on a new cup of noodles, and he shares them with the squirrel and sheep friend that he's got up there.
Okay. So we fade out of that scene as you guys start hurtling forward deeper into the outer parts of the outer rim. You all clean up, get the animals back in the pens. A few of them you go in your bellies. And eventually, we come back up. And so some time has passed, probably not too much time, but it's taken you a little while to actually find the ship itself, like the Charon, like where you've been heading off. And it's not the easiest find because it really just drifts and it doesn't really have like active piloting. And it's not the type of thing where you know exactly what it is at all times. It's just sort of drifting out there dead. And so it takes a little time for you to find it, but eventually, as we look at the Belafonte hurtling once more across our screen, and we see in the distance, the Charon comes up and starts to emerge out of this darkness up in front. And it's this broken warship, massive. Like your ship is not small, but this thing dwarfs it completely. But we see this long, like kind of graceless, drifting bit. This hull is split in multiple places. We can see that the rear of the ship is mostly completely dark until you start seeing, as you approach, this glittering trail of like a halo almost of debris, some of it warping around the ship itself, some of it almost like a comet's tail, where all sorts of glittering debris with the light catches it. Suddenly makes this illuminate this shadow that otherwise is hard to see. The only actual actively lit sections of the ship, of this massive warship, are the front forward sections. You can see that there's a handful of running lights and things that are on. And you all would know that there is a medical bay there, and it's one of the only places still running. It's still open. This is where people who need a miracle or who need to hide out to get reconstructive surgery or something like that. This is where they would go on the rim. As you approach, you can see that there are a dozen ships that are hanging off various docking ports, about the same size as yourselves. None of them are particularly pretty. All of them are ramshackle. None of them have the sleekness of like the high-end core world types of ships. Everything looks like people just from the outside. You all got wind or got notified by Chase Tantalo that you all he is your contact now, that his father and his has a job for you. And so like we cut to maybe like a screen of him like talking to you guys, and he's like, so listen guys, you gotta listen to me. And he's got his index finger and his pinky finger, and he's pointing at the screen, and he's describing a bounty that he needs you all to act on. And so specifically, you all are here looking for a person who goes by the name of Arden Len, who is a contract killer, that is assassin type of thing that is used regularly by the McGregor clan, or at least as has been used in the past by the McGregor clan. And the Tantalos would like you to acquire this individual, not kill this individual, acquire this individual. There's not a whole lot of data or detail on this person, on who this person might be. A lot of the details that you have about his physical features are kind of bland, dark hair, medium build, like that kind of description, right? But there is a long list of various kills, various attacks across the entirety of the rim that are regularly associated to this person. And so the Tantalos have put a very, very, very high bounty on his acquisition and have activated you all to go catch them. And recently they had it from a source on the inside of the ship that this figure, Arden Len, was seen sometime in the last week, actually coming to the ship. So that's why you guys are here. And so maybe you're like reviewing your notes, maybe you're watching that video once more as we approach the Charon, and suddenly the comms come on as you're getting closer and closer to this big warship, and it's automated. It's just this automated voice, very professional. So the Charon Hospice is accepting patients. All are welcome. Please state your medical need and intended length of stay on your approach. And then that repeats a few more times. So as you guys are all huddled about, maybe towards the front of the ship, maybe towards the cockpit or some kind of meeting room, whatever it might be, going through your notes, what do you plan to say as you approach the warship, knowing that you're coming here to collect a bounty, and everybody who comes here is here to get medical attention? So what's your plan? What do you guys talk about?
Break your arm, Nikki.
We can just put it in a cast. It doesn't need to be broken. I do like the thought, though. And our ship is pretty beat up. So pirates, and we are seeking medical help. Well,
Robin, when you were being bounced around the hallway in the cargo bay earlier, you hit your head and you've hurt your back. Maybe.
Well, I've definitely got some bruises. I saw that in the shower.
It's easy sell that maybe we're worried about some internal injuries or concussion.
You know, it might actually be worth getting that checked out now I think about it.
You sure? And we don't usually have the money for such things.
Oh yeah, fair point.
But yes, you're very right. We should definitely get that checked out. And kind of takes a look, and I imagine you have some yellowing bruising.
How alive does this land need to be?
What was that, Lorna?
How alive does this lens need to be?
Very.
That makes it more difficult.
Can also have bruises. I don't think there is a prohibition against broken bones or bruises, but alive and breathing.
I think they want an ambulatory as well.
Oh, well, that's not fun. I think really as long as his tongue can wag, it probably meets the needs of the Centaulos.
Okay, so jaw, tongue, out of the question. Good to know.
Yeah, no cutting out tongue, no breaking jaw.
Big hand to the handwriting. Okay.
There's the okay list and the not okay list, and we're like adding to the not okay list.
Just to remind ourselves.
Nikki comes back into the room, and he's covered in like gauze and bandages that he's like done up all over himself to make him look like he needs medical assistance. All right, you see? Look, I need a doctor. Nothing's broken. Well, it's not done yet. I still have to do the sling. I'm still working on it.
So we're gonna have two patients. So you and Robin will both be the patients, and
Robin's
Lorna,
doing it now.
I mean, we can both do it. It's like
okay, we can do two.
Or you can be going to a costume party disguised as a mummy. I don't mind.
No, if I knew it was two, I would have saved some gauze. I used the last of it.
I mean, I think it's better.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, cause
you can see. Yeah, you can see the bruises.
I'm checking for like internal stuff. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we both need doctors.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So the automated message kicks in again, as it's been kicking in over and over again, as if it's awaiting reply. The Charon Hospice is accepting patients. All are welcome. Please state your medical need and intended length on approach. And as if it's waiting for you to reply in some fashion. So who replies and what do you say?
So our ship's been, as you can see, our ship was hit recently, got into a bit of a scrape.
Freddy, it's a robot.
We need some assistance. We want to make sure we don't have any concussions, broken bones, internal bleeding. Thank you.
There's a moment, and then you hear a living voice. This one's definitely not a computer, but you hear just someone say, we receive you. Take port 7. And you look out and you can see that again, that there's about a half dozen ships already docked into the forward section of the ship. And there's all these different docking ports because you were effectively like think of it like the equivalent of having a speedboat versus an aircraft carrier. You guys are the speedboat coming up to an aircraft carrier right now. And so we see your ship slowly come in. You go through whatever docking procedures that you have to do. And we hear the sounds of like the approval, the lights go green, like there is there is a sink, and you manage to make sure that you have like an airtight seal between your ship and this large warship. So you all pack up, you get ready to go onto this ship. Is there anything that you're doing beforehand, or is there anything you want to call out you're taking with you? You can always come back, but it's just first impressions and all.
I want to make sure she's got her weapons. They go a little bit up into her sleeves. They still poke out a little bit because they're quite large.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, just doesn't care.
Got your blades like coming up your shredder blades going up your sleeves right there. Okay. Okay.
Which is a good point. Nikki's got 2 weapons, both of which are concealable. So he's going to try and like hide them in these bandages that he's like put on himself. So
Nikki,
he's got a switchblade and a snub-nosed revolver that he's like bandaging to himself.
Okay. Freddie, Nikki, do you want me to hold those? Because if they do an X-ray, they're going to see them.
Well, no, I'll move them if they do an X-ray.
Oh, sure. Whatever you want to.
When have I ever let you down? Robin, is that how you're going to walk? You don't look injured if you walk like that. You got to put a little more limp into it.
I will, but hang on a sec. Freddie, can you take my gun? Because I don't think I should carry that, given that, as you say, they might do X-rays and such.
Yeah, got you.
Okay, and she takes the gun out of her waistband and passes it on to you.
And you would see Freddie is... Freddie kind of took notes from past... And I would like to think that probably Elvis had shared some information about how to like jerry rig like some security to know if someone like tries to kind of get on the ship or anything like that. So I would say that Freddie is probably doing that kind of whatever with the security system and whatnot. So there's sort of like both a electronic way to know if someone tries to get on the ship, and then also some kind of like physical, kind of a ship equivalent of, kind of the top of the matchbox in the door kind of a situation.
Okay. Melissa and I were just watching a show where they literally did that. They took a little piece of paper and they put it inside the door. So, okay. Yep. You want to roll a savvy test to see how well you conceal your efforts?
I would like to roll a savvy test. Savvy is my best stat. I've got a 2.
Okay.
Awesome. I rolled a 10.
Okay, excellent. All right. So good to know. So you feel as secure as you're probably going to feel, I would say. With a 10 seems like you're probably very confident with that, right? So all of you depart then, or if there's no other things that you want to call out, say you...
Before we go in, I'd like to deploy my authority monitor.
Describe what that does.
So it's a box about the size of like a medium-sized speaker, I think, this big. And what it does is it monitors for any security footage coming out of where we are in immediate areas. It's just a receiver. Okay. It doesn't broadcast, but it's also slightly illegal.
Okay. You are in a slightly illegal place.
Yeah.
So yeah. So is it just is it audio and video?
Or it's both audio and video. It's just.
Okay. Sure. I would say as you step onto the Charon itself, as you kind of go through your umbilical that connects to the warship, and you immediately get into the halls. Nothing currently is being picked up. Like, doesn't look like they're actively monitoring you as you wander through this place. So right now, at least, but every now and then, if you want to just call that out, if you want to like double check it, like there might be times in which something might pop up. But so all of you step out, you've got this entry corridor, which given the state of the exterior of this ship, it's surprisingly clean, surprisingly well lit. And you would imagine it's probably deliberately trying to assure you that everything's fine. Like, this is like best foot forward kind of thing, right? But as you continue to walk down this hall, those of you who have kind of a good eye for engineering, like you start to notice some cracks and some seams, and you see a few of the panels here and there are mismatched. Some of the wiring is like sticking out from behind. One whole panel might be missing, and there's just jury-rigged nonsense going on in there completely. All various stopgaps. You're on like this corridor that connects to all of these different docks on the starboard side of the ship. But you can see that various signage, not electronic, but like old school signage, directing you this way and that. It's not very long before you find yourselves being, face to face with a woman, probably in her 40s or so, stocky, not like, kind of short, stocky, dark hair, kind of pale skin. She's wearing a nurse's outfit, she looks up at you all. She has a little clipboard kind of deal, but she's got some notes that she's ready to take. And behind her, you can see there's another orderly or two and some equipment that they have on a cart itself. And she looks at you. All right, which one of you needs something here? Who's hurt? Well, you're all walking, so I guess that's a good sign. So who do you point to?
Nikki
Robin
also
and
steps
Nikki.
forward.
Yeah.
So the two of you step
Pushes
forward.
Nikki in the back.
All right.
And Robin's making a bit of a show of like having a slight hobble, like the hip sore kind of thing.
Okay. And so like she just asks you a couple like basic questions about like injuries and things like that. Nothing, particularly invasive or whatever. And then once she kind of gets your names and your injuries down, do you give your real names or do you give like a cover ID?
Definitely not my real name.
Okay.
We're going to go with Frankie Udon.
Okay. So Nikki is the worst. Okay. My favorite noodle though. Yeah. Okay. What about Robin?
Carol Riley.
Okay. All right. Okay. So after she gets whatever she needs finished, she's like, all right, well, Frankie, Carol, you can come with me over to the wards. We'll get you checked out, do a couple x-rays, see if anything's broken. The two of you are all right?
Got a bar?
Do we have a bar?
Yeah.
No, we don't.
People need to
we don't have
recover,
a-
don't they?
Cafeteria.
We have a cafeteria. Yeah.
Why don't you say so?
Because she didn't ask. You asked for a bar.
Same fucking difference.
It's really fucking not. They're completely different. And she points to a little symbol on the wall that cafeteria, follow those signs. You'll find it.
Oh, the knife and the fork.
Anything.
Okay.
And then she turns around and she beckons like Robin and Nikki to come with her. Okay. Party is split all of a sudden. Okay. So we'll start with Lorna and Freddie then. So the two of you're eventually left alone. You're in this kind of administrative deck, so to speak, for this place, but you kind of met at some juncture, but you're kind of at your own devices. There's not like security here. Like it doesn't look like anyone really gives a shit about, what you're doing. There are people here. You do hear the sounds of voices. Every now and then someone will pass by you, like a staff, someone who's working. Not everyone has uniforms on, but you can definitely tell certain people might have like a pin or something to designate themselves as somebody who's working here. And then you also sometimes pass by others who are clearly just coming or going from their own ships like yourselves. So it's not a place that is overly crowded. It's not like you're going through these empty hallways after empty hallway, but it's also not a place it looks like there's an abundance of eyes on you. But every so often, yeah, you do come across each other. So do the two of you in fact follow the various signage that takes you to the cafeteria, or do you do something else?
So, Lorna, I think we should check out all of the waiting areas on all the floors and see. I mean, we don't really have much to go on, just a guy with medium build and dark hair, but maybe we can kind of check out waiting areas and see if we see anybody that matches that description.
Since they don't have a fucking bar, yeah, sure.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I'm sure they've got something better than Jello, but maybe.
Offices. If they have offices, they'll have whiskey. They always have that in drawers.
That probably. Let's see. And so Freddy's gambit is it's all in the details, so she gets upper hand on observation.
Okay, so you're just trying to go to wherever people who are waiting for their others to get done with surgery or something like that, or is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's kind of starting place is just to see if maybe this person is here.
Okay.
Hanging around.
Okay. Do you think it's so as you maybe, and they're probably not that far from each other, cafeteria and sort of waiting area, probably not particularly far from each other. You can tell as you're moving about the sort of this administrative deck that there is an active bridge where it does seem is probably the only place that is somewhat restricted that you've seen so far, as there's a proper door, there's proper access card key that's supposed to go in there. And as you watch for a second, you see a few people come up, they slide something through and then they're let in, but no one kind of just freely comes and goes. You pass by a cafeteria and you can definitely tell that this was at some point a military, a mess hall of some kind, but it's been a jury rig. Only half of it seems to be a cafeteria now, as there is a strangely welded wall right in the middle of it to suggest that the other half was repurposed for something else. And you see these long metallic picnic tables, all in rows, everything bolted to the floor. And there's maybe a dozen people in here, in little pockets here and there. None of them are by themselves. Everyone's got at least 2 or 3 people in groups. And then you do notice that there is a separate waiting area. As you follow some of the signs, you start to get your bearings based upon this kind of old way of looking at it. And this is more like observation rooms. You see that these big portals that look out onto space itself. None of this looks particularly elegant. Everything looks like it's suffered significantly. But if either of you have any kind of military experience, you've ever been on a military ship before, this definitely has the look of an officer's lounge kind of deal. And it's in here, Lorna, where you notice that there is a bar, but sadly there's no booze in the shelves behind it. But you notice the actual bar itself at some point in the past. But that's not what's there. There is a coffee machine though. There's that. So that's what the two of you have to work with. You're in that area of the ship. So if any of those things sound interesting to you, let me know what it is you think you do.
No, first, did I might have missed it. Do we know why he's here? Or do we just know that he's here?
You don't know. From your Tantalo contact said that one of the plants that they had here at the ship, here on the warship, saw somebody matching his description.
I don't think he'll have many friends, really. We could just ask.
We can. Not sure who here is a friendly or not, and being tipped off that someone's looking for him could drive him a bit further, but
we could
couldn't hurt.
And then knock them out.
She's
not the smartest. Oh.
Freddy is used to Lorna as a hammer and everything is a nail. That is her MO. Let's try just looking around first. But yeah, you can chat with people and I can look for things. And so I would say that Freddy would want to continue to the cafeteria and take a closer look there.
Okay. When you say closer look, again, when you say closer look, are you just looking for people or are you actually talking to people?
I'm going to be looking. It sounds like Lorna will be talking.
Okay. All right. So Freddy, you head into the cafeteria, and you notice that there's really not much in here, but there is like this automated distribution area where like some kind of gruel or porridge seems to come out here and there. You arrived morning time, and then there's all sorts of plates and things, like these old metal plates and things that are stacked up. There's somebody working behind a counter that certainly seems to be an employee of this place, kind of an older man, again, very pale. You can see his hair is starting to disappear from his head, but he's still got little patches of black, but he has kind of a yellowing color to his skin. But whenever anyone comes up and like drops their plate there, he drops whatever they had just eaten from, he takes the tray and he'll turn it around, he dumps it into a bin, and he kind of gets to cleaning. Definitely doesn't match your description. You look around, and again, you see about a dozen people sitting down in various groups. You see that there is of note of people of men in kind of the same sort of description. You notice only two in here that are like middle build. You can definitely see there's a few heavy set people. There's one big muscular guy, and then there's some women and actually one child too. You see one of the men that you notice, it's kind of in that same vaguely average build, is sitting next to this young boy. Boy's probably 4 or 5 years old, something like that. And the two of them are like scooping up porridge here and there. But otherwise, yeah, there's nothing here that immediately stands out just from looking at people. No. And then Lorna, what are you doing?
I'll grab some of the porridge.
Okay. You go over, you grab a tray, put the tray underneath this nozzle, pull the lever, and it just comes down into the tray itself, splatters a bit here and there. Grab yourself a spoon.
Look for someone that's sitting either on their own or just two.
Okay. So there's the two. There's what looks like maybe a father and a son. There's like a really big, like kind of muscular looking dude, and he's got like two smaller, it's kind of frail looking, one woman, one man sitting next to him. Those are probably the smallest groups, like a 2 and a 3.
The father and the son.
Okay. So you sit down next to these two, and the father kind of looks up at you a little hesitantly, but then the kid kind of looks up at you, and maybe the kid notices your blades, like just underneath the sleeves, and maybe some of the and his eyes just go really big, and this big, bright grin. But as he's looking at you, you can tell that this kid doesn't look particularly healthy. Like there's something about the coloring, like you're at a hospital, and not only that, he has a bracelet on his wrist to suggest he's a patient here. You look at the father too has one, but he seems to be in a little bit healthier state. But neither of them look like, you can't tell like broken bones or anything like that, but an illness maybe, you're not sure.
Wink at the kid. Has he finished his food or?
Yeah, he's kind of done at this point, and he's just sort of pushing it around in his tray.
Is it crap?
Yeah, it's crap. Hey, Jerry, what did we say? Don't say crap. But it is crap. She asked me if it was crap. But that's just because she says it's crap.
Is it shit?
Ma'am, we're trying very hard to could you not use that language around my son, please?
English? Sorry, I don't speak any others. It's
yeah. Okay. Well, Jerry, do we want to go back and see your mom?
No, sorry. Before you go, I need to ask him, Jerry, you look like the sort of guy who keeps an eye out. Am I right? You notice what's going on, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I see everything. Yeah.
Have you seen this man and show a picture of him on whatever device I have?
Okay. Yeah. So maybe you guys have like really crude, like a really crude sketch, maybe like you've distributed. It's one of those classic like wanted posters that could almost be anybody, and it has like this middle-aged man, but there's definitely like some, cheekbones and things like that figures out like facial expression. Give me a savvy test. I'm going to give you an upper hand because of the sketch, and if you wanted to add anything else to that as well.
I don't have anything other than violence.
Okay.
Okay, upper hand, so that's a 10.
Oh, okay, that's a success. So yeah, since you're asking Jerry, he'll look up and he looks at his dad and he looks at you and he gets like a little nervous and he's like, yeah, yeah. By the strange lady, the one who sends everybody into the stars. And that's literally what the kid says to you. This the strange lady. She shoots everybody out into the stars.
Look at the dad and say, "Cheers."
And he's like, commendation. It's for, and he puts his hands on the other side of the kid's ears. It's what they do when they dispose of the bodies. She's a strange one. It's over by the wards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you here long?
Right. And you see he gets this sort of sad look on his face. As long as it takes.
Yeah, Jerry, maybe I'll come visit you.
Okay, yeah. We'll see about that. And he's like, the father's kind of quickly scurrying.
Can I take Jerry's food, put it onto my plate?
Okay. Just dump the rest of it over. Yeah. All right. Fantastic. Let's cut from there over to Robin and Nikki as the two of you are led down a couple pathways. You're taken through a lift that takes you down to more of a medical area now. And so at first it looked like a lot of just administration, sort of layout here and there. But the more you progress deeper into the ship, the more and more you see that this place is falling apart at the seams. Like even the lift itself feels rickety as you're going down. And then as you're passing by, you can see that there are some collapsed walls and there are some rooms that aren't even being used as you're just passing by rooms that are just in too much state of disarray. This was a warship. It suffered some kind of reactor catastrophe. You know that. The specifics you're not too sure of, but that's definitely what you've heard before. But after going through all these different paths of all this ruin, you open up into what appears to probably be the best equipped room on this ship as you enter into the medical bay itself. And it's a little dated. Like some of the equipment that you're seeing is a little bit older than maybe you would be used to seeing. You've probably seen some fancier things, but what you do see was probably the high-end stuff 20 years ago, like top of the line. We're talking like, organ cloning tanks, like there's like some nanosurgery rigs, there's like some kind of smart endocrine like filtration system. There's all sorts of like imaging and diagnostic systems that really would only be in the core worlds. It's not the type of thing that you would see on a rim planet. All of it has the stamp of like of NavMed, which is like naval medical. Like this is a naval ship, right? And you can see there's some staff moving about. There's some people who have like the classic like white lab coat to signify doctors. Other people wearing scrubs signifying usually nurses of some kind. But it does mean like this place is relatively busy. There's a few doors leading out, but you're led over to us. Like both of you are led over to these neighboring little pods. Where you kind of sit down on a bed and they start hooking like systems up to you and start doing some scanning and things like that. The nurse, meanwhile, is like talking to you the whole time. And so like, do you feel pain here? Do you feel pain here? Just kind of like poking you in various places. After like a couple minutes of that and like getting some of that situated, she'll step away and she says, Dr. Poole, see you soon. Just be patient. It's been a busy day, been a busy few days.
Has anything in particular been happening?
We're having all sorts of problems. Some of the equipment has been malfunctioning lately. Scans showing us the wrong output and power drains, things like that. We're used to that sort of thing here, but it's been a little bit more volume of late. We got this family here, the whole damn family. They're all sick, something. I don't know. Anyhow, we're all a little tired.
Not contagious though, right?
It's radiation sickness. No.
So no, it's not.
Oh, no, it's
okay,
not.
Good.
No, it's not. no, just don't go to the back of the ship. Don't go to the hazard zone. Don't go. We don't like to call it this, but don't go to the death zone. Just stay in the approved areas and you'll be fine.
Well, can you staff her all okay? You've got
absolutely.
like lead aprons or something?
Some of us are better than others. Alice, Dr. Boole, I don't know. She's Superwoman. She doesn't seem to ever get sick. But Dr. Eldon, he's on his last legs, so to speak. So, but he cares. And then Charon, he's not on today. He's, I don't know. He's kind of new, but people don't really do a lot of tours of service here, at least not for very long, as you could expect. Not a lot of benefits out here.
What, they go and work on the core world when they can, or do something else?
No. Maybe a med clinic somewhere on the rim. But if you're out here, there's not a clinic or hospital in the core that's going to take you. This isn't the type of post that looks good on a resume. This is where you come after you screwed up somewhere else.
Oh, I'd have thought if you could work here, you could work anywhere.
I guess something of that is true. But not that everybody wants us, though.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, yeah, you said stay in the approved areas. Where is the nearest approved bathroom? I had some spicy noodles earlier, and I just, it just moves right through.
She just holds up an arm and points like really slowly with a very, very annoyed look on her face as she stares you down. Just points that direction.
I will be right back. I'll be back before the doctor.
She looks at you, Robin, and she just makes a very sympathetic face towards you. You have to deal with that
all the time.
We can. No, never mind. She kind of turns away. She's like, we could get you something for maybe to. He talks a little too much. We have some sedatives that we sell. Just turn it up.
I'll maybe think upon that and talk to you later.
Okay. And then she turns to walk away, but then she stops. Maggie, by the way, if you need anything, just let me know. I run the show here, so to speak.
Thanks, Maggie. Good to know you.
All right. And she starts to move away. So yeah, looking around, there's a couple other people that are in little pods like you. Some of them have curtains drawn. You also notice that there are a few doors that go off to more specific locations. Like you can see, there's one that seems to go off to the wards, is what it's called, which are more serious patient rooms. Like this looks to be just like kind of a holding station, almost like an ER before you're assigned to a specific room. But you can see there's pathways out of there. And then, you see a handful of other doctors, nurses, and patients moving about. While you're in here, you do, as you're looking around, Robin, you do notice every now and then, over by an imaging scanner, you'll see one of the nurses is just getting annoyed at it, punching in something and it doesn't work, just smashes it and then still doesn't work. And then just pushes it off to the side, like this big container on wheels, just pushes it off to the side and just shouts I'm sick of this shit. This is ridiculous. And then kind of wanders off, but you can tell she's frustrated with the specific equipment she's using. And then Nikki, you go into the bathrooms. There are just your.
I really just wanted to scope out the area, and on the way there, I wanted to see if there was an empty console that he could kind of tap into. Somewhere that this, would be out of sight, in an empty room, maybe.
Okay. Give me a test
Observation.
To see if you can. It doesn't have to be observation, but give me a test to stealthily get into a place unobserved.
So I would try to use my savvy here then.
Okay.
And that was a decent roll. That was 9 + 2, 11.
Okay. Yeah, you do notice that there are a couple offices attached to this area that are. You're not sure if it's like an individual person's office or if it's just a sort of a shared office, but they're certainly empty right now. And there are a couple consoles, like a couple old consoles. And so while you look over your shoulder, maybe Robin's still talking with Maggie at this point, you just slide in and do you close the door behind you?
Yeah, and like twist the blinds, whatever.
Okay, twist the lines, and you're in here by yourself for a moment, and you can see that it's not a lot of papers in here, but you do see like binders, like medical binders and things that have been stacked. It has like that like band on the various bookcases to keep them from falling and everything. But there's still stuff on the ground. A couple filing cabinets, like old school filing cabinets. Everything is like all of the actual terminals, the computers and things. All of them were top of the line maybe 20 years ago. Like it doesn't look like this has seen an upgrade in terms of its computer systems and consoles. But honestly, kind of works out because that's almost like what you guys are fairly used to being out here on the rim. So what do you want to do while you're in here?
Yeah, I wanted to search like just like patient list mostly and see if like I could filter by like the details we know of our mark and just try to see if I can narrow down if he came as a patient or anything like that.
Okay. Okay. So so you want to get into the system and kind of go through the system. Yeah. I would say separate test for this. Sorry to make you roll so much, but do a separate test for this. Fair. And you're using what you know. So he was observed here about a week ago. You know his basic build. You know the name that he's most often goes by. And so yeah, you can kind of cross-reference some of that with what's here.
Do you think Savvy would fit this again? Or what do you think? Maybe muscle trying to break in? Savvy?
No, you don't need to use muscle for this. You're not punching the computer.
Well, like brute forcing the system. Know. I don't know.
Tell me everything you know.
Okay, so that is 7 on the dice plus 2 Savvy is a 9. Okay.
A few things that you notice. One thing that stands out immediately is that the timeline is what catches you. You don't see any Arden Len, like that doesn't pop up. That name is not in here whatsoever. But of the other 6 ships that were docked here, half of them, so 3 of them, arrived just within the last few days. 2 of them have been here for a month, and one of them came here a little over a week ago. And that one is apparently registered. It's called the Red Venture, and it's registered to a patient, a couple of patients by the name of Chen Osith. And so that's the only one that matches your timeline.
Okay, so Nikki would basically like Control S and try to like copy it onto like a thumb drive or something like that.
Okay.
And just tuck that into one of his bandages and then try to slip out of the office before he pushes his luck.
Okay. Okay, so while you're in there doing that, Robin, do you want to do anything out in the medical bay as you see people moving about? No one's bothering you right now?
I think she wants to look around and see if any of the patients, like just with a passing glance, look like the person we're looking for. She doesn't in her heart of hearts think that if this person is hiding here, he's being a patient, because that's not a good long-term strategy. Okay. But she's just going to check, because it'd be embarrassing to miss something that obvious.
Maybe just give me an observation test. Just a basic observation test. It's 2d6 and you hit an 8.
It's a 6 and a 5, 11.
That's fantastic. Yeah, as you go through this like emergency room or this like kind of interstitial office area, this waiting area. You don't notice anyone that matches his description. No one really stands out to you. You do notice that one thing does stand out, I'll say. Everyone in the staff that you come across is like looks kind of sickly to a degree. Like they're pale. They definitely have some discoloration here and there, like their hair is maybe retreating at this point. And none of them to the point where they're themselves infected with something, but it's as if they are in a negative place. Like this place does this things to them. Like the radiation might be drifting into here or whatever it might be. There's one exception to this. Because as you're moving about, you see a woman in a white lab coat start to go from bay to bay, from pod to pod. And she moves with this sort of rhythmic kind of grace, and she's the only one that you notice in here that doesn't look sickly, like that doesn't look pale, that doesn't look like, there's nothing really distinctive about her. Like when you look at her face as she kind of looks in your direction, but then and doesn't offer a smile. She just looks fairly blankly at you. No physical distinction, like kind of a very plain, forgettable looking face. But she's the only person here that doesn't look sickly. So that's the only thing you really clock.
Okay, that's interesting in itself.
Eventually, you spot Nikki / Frankie slipping out from the office with a shit-eating grin on his face, and you can see that he's hard to maybe hide his enjoyment. As we know, it's your failed casino. He sucks at gambling and probably has a terrible poker face. But you all are approached by that very woman with the coat. And she comes over to the two of you and she says, my name is Dr. Bull. I've been told that the two of you have suffered some recent injuries. Could you tell me the nature of those injuries and how you came to acquire them? And she pulls out like a chart and she's looking at you with earnest and like waiting for both of you to respond.
There was a navigation.
So our ship... It was wild. Navigation issue. Absolutely. Exactly what she was saying. Navigation issue. Like we were in space and this asteroid came out of nowhere. And we bumped into it and it really like messed up our ship. But anyways, we both went flying and you should see the other two. Not a scratch on the other two. It was just us. It was like the asteroid wanted to kill us. You wouldn't believe it. Like a 1 in a million shot.
And you, ma'am?
Yeah, I fell in the navigation incident. I think may have some contusions and maybe something deeper underneath. I wasn't sure.
We're going to do some imaging scans now to see if there are any broken bones, any internal bleeding. And as long as those come clear, we shouldn't need to keep you for very long. We're having some trouble today with some of our equipment, so it might take a little bit longer than normal. You are in no pain right now.
Not beyond just moving around.
No, not too bad. I will say though, when I move my arm like this, you hear that click in my elbow?
Yes.
Yeah, that didn't do that before. Do you think that's a problem?
It might be, yes.
Yeah. So I'm kind of worried about that. It doesn't hurt though.
I'll make a note of that. Thank you, sir. Writes it down. Is there anything else that I should put in the records?
No.
Frankie, were you not worried about some burns or something from like in the accident?
Minor scalding.
Okay.
Minor scalding from ramen.
Well, which one of you would like to go first? We have an X-ray room next door. I'm afraid to say our current scanning equipment is malfunctioning, so we're going to have to use some older devices, but don't worry, they're perfectly safe.
Robin, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Yeah, sure, but don't call me that.
Robin, that's interesting. I have the name Carol Riley. I'll amend that now.
No. Her name's Carol Riley. Robin is the pet name. Because we're boyfriend girlfriend. And I put my arm around her.
and it takes
like a bird, like the songbird. Robin.
That's very lovely. Do you have a pet name for your boyfriend?
Thrush.
Robin and Thrush. I am making a note now. Jeff is making a note now too. Okay, so she wants to escort you to a different room to do like an old-fashioned X-ray. Are you okay with that, Robin / Carol?
Absolutely fine. Let's go along with it. I've not got anything on me that's going to be a problem.
Okay, so she takes you into a separate room. It's an old-fashioned X-ray machine. You got to like wear this big old lead thing on it. It's that whole classic thing. So we see that process happening, and we're going to cut from there back to Lorna and Freddie, who are still over by the administration deck, which is a couple decks up from where the med bay is. And the last we saw of you, you had learned something from this little kid. Freddie, you weren't able to ID anybody in particular. So Freddie, what do you think you would do next?
So Freddie is going to chat with the gentleman. So there was the one that was kind of a little bit behind that was kind of grabbing the kind of metal tins and putting them in the washer.
Yes, there was. Yeah.
She'll kind of walk over, big smile. Hey there, old timer.
I'm 37.
Pretty sure I wrote down older man.
I'm still 37.
Well, it's good. You seem like you notice everybody that comes in and out of here.
Maybe my eyes are too old. Maybe it's glaucoma.
And she'll squint a little bit like, nope, still look clear to me. Anyway, I was wondering if I might see if you'd seen someone here in the last week or so.
I've seen a lot of people here. People come, people go, people die, people live.
It is hospital. These are things that all happen here for sure. And she wants to try to whatever this settings version of, a handshake, with a bill folded inside kind of a thing to offer some credits for information.
You want to bribe him? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. You slide, so you slide some sort of creds, maybe a couple cred sticks or something. Everything is fairly retro in Orbital Blue, so I would imagine there's probably something physical that you have to give over, a note of some kind. Sure. He looks at it and kind of examines it, maybe wondering to himself, what the hell am I going to do with this here? But nonetheless, he'll take it and he'll look up at you as he's pocketing it. Thank you. What do you want?
And so similar to what Lorna had, Freddie's got, kind of a vague, kind of pixelated kind of image. Is this look at all familiar to you? Some of them may have come in here in the last week, maybe hasn't been here longer than that.
Not much to go on here. I could be anybody.
Well, that's why we're asking questions, because, maybe we can put something together. Like I said, not here more than a week, but here for the last week.
Give me a savvy test.
Okay.
And you can have one of those upper hands for bribing him and showing him the pick and all that kind of thing.
Cool. 12.
Okay, that's really good.
No. Sorry. I forgot how upper hand works. I'm still good though. 9.
Oh, you added all three of them together.
I did add all three, and I was like, no, wait, that seems too easy.
Or something. Okay.
Also, while you're considering the outcome of that, welcome raiders from Reflect Games. Good to have you.
Awesome. Thank you for that raid. Playing through some Orbital Blues right now. We're on an old rundown hospital ship way out in the middle of nowhere. And Melissa's trying to bribe a dude who's 37 but looks like 73. Okay. So you just want to know if he's seen somebody who looks like this.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So he says, kind of looks like that pilot guy. What was his name? Martino. Yeah. He, came here week and a half back or so. Not a patient, though. He was just, what is it? The family. He brought the family in. Yeah. Yeah, I saw him here. And the total's a 9, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, he was asking all sorts of questions too, like you. Gave me more money. More money so I didn't go answering other people's questions. Then again, if you give me more money, maybe it's worth me answering those questions too. He holds out a hand, like really unabashed.
At this point, Lorna will come up behind Freddie,
Okay.
arms crossed, and look at him. Hey.
All right. No reason to get excited here. Anyhow, he was asking all sorts of questions about the ship, about the Charon. He wanted to know its history. He wanted to know which parts were, inaccessible here and there. He's asking all sorts of things like that. He wanted to know about the death zone. You don't ask about the death zone,
What's the death zone?
Keep
on cue.
You know here, that's right. It's what we call the rear of the ship. See, back in the old days, before my time, the ship suffered from a cracked radiation. The whole engine room just broke down, and that's why the back half of the ship is in 100 different pieces, and why you see all the parts cycling around us. But radiation bled out here and there. But that's where the radiation's the worst. So there's still some places out there that, bodies are floating around, just kind of standing there. No reason to go and clear them out. They've been there for 20 years, preserved by space and whatnot. So, yeah, we don't really bring it up. There's a few folks, like Eldon, like Miss Quell. They've been around since the beginning, and they don't really like it when we talk about those types of things. So
shouldn't call it a death area then.
That's not what they call it. That's just what the other people call it.
Yeah.
What did they call it?
The rear of the ship.
Oh.
The engine.
Boring.
The reactor. That kind of thing.
So what brought the family in? What was their story about what happened to them?
Some kind of illness. Yeah, you were talking to him.
Oh, nice work, Lorna.
Me?
Yeah, I'm no doctor, but it's some kind of xenosilicosis, I think it's called.
Say what?
Yeah. I told you I'm not a doctor. That's just what they say. I just give people gruel. What do you want from me?
Is that like a thing that people come here often with the...
It's the gray skin thing,
I'd like to be savvy to see if Lorna knows what that is, just in case she's heard it somewhere.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, that is a 9.
Ooh.
Okay. It is a illness that is not uncommon throughout the rim. It's not the type of thing that everyone gets, but it's a very sickly thing. It's usually characterized by gray-skinned, labored movement, joint pain, and like this wet, rattly cough that eventually you drown and die in it. It's fatal if someone gets it. So yeah, so you might know about it. Like it's like its official name. So.
Yeah, but she gives this, she says, as if, nothing, she knows this and doesn't know how to work a fucking drone, but knows that.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure. So this Martino guy was piloting the ship when they got sick?
No, I think he was piloting the ship that took him here,
Oh. Where were they when they got sick?
I don't know. Home. Ask them. Check their records. And that there's like a dozen or more places, moons, stations out the rim they could have been staying. And like, it's not like this illness is is specific to one specific locale, like, but it is common across the rim.
Well, you've been very helpful.
Yeah, that's what they tell me.
Did that and she sort of like looks back to Lorna, kind of at the wink that lets Lorna know to, you know, kind of cross her arms and look tough again. That
she hadn't stopped.
Doesn't know how, even if she wanted to.
Even pulling off the smart stuff is still like still a tough face. Is that credits enough to keep you from telling other people that we were asking questions?
He's about to
see you again.
He's about to say something, and then Lorna speaks up. Yeah, that's fine. Anyhow, anything else?
If that boy comes again, give him something better than that shite. You can give me his shite, don't worry about it.
We don't have anything better. We don't have any resources out here. It's all just gruel.
Just take some money, give him money, buy him something.
From where? There's no market here, man.
Freddie's gonna go into her bag, and I imagine Freddie just randomly has some like cinnamon or something to like, you know, like a little, you know, sort of like the you know, pizza places give you like the little thing of Parmesan, like a little thing that's got some maybe like cinnamon or something in it.
Money back off him. There you go. That's exactly how much it costs.
What? Okay. All right. Sure. Fantastic. Okay. So we'll say, what do you guys stay around here, or do you go somewhere else? The two of you.
And how much time has passed? Because the initial thing for them wouldn't be that long. Yeah.
Maybe an hour.
I'd say we head to find them.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay. So we see Lorna and Freddie. We see them leave. You start moving throughout the ship a bit, following the signs. We see Robin getting her X-ray as like Dr. Boole is what she introduced herself as. She's telling you like the procedures. We see Nikki. What is Nikki doing, Steven?
I think Nikki, when Robin goes to get her images, Nikki just takes off all his bandages and gets ready to walk out because he doesn't want to get the radiation from the X-ray.
So you take everything off, you just leave it there, and you walk out. And as you're like kind of walking out and maybe out down the hall or something like that, you hear a woman's voice, sort of an old woman's voice, like kind of half humming, like half singing in some ways, and you're passing by like this bulkhead door that's opened up ever so slightly, and you realize the song, like the singing, is coming from in there. And when you kind of peek through it, you see this very old, frail-looking woman. Like you can tell she's extremely thin, and she's wearing what doesn't look like a patient gown, but also doesn't look like scrubs. She's just wearing some kind of thin gown, and she's humming to herself. She has all these like weird strips of cloth that are hanging down from some sort of cord or thread that's moving from one side of the room to the other side, and she's just like pulling one down at a time, and she's soaking it in some small tin with some discolored liquid, and then she turns and she starts wrapping what looks like the nude dead body of somebody who you cannot tell who it is, and is just leaning down, like whispering to them, talking to them, and then reaches back up, grabs another strip, and continues that process. And I think that's where we're going to stop for today, because we're already at 2 hours, if you can believe it, as we have.
But I have questions now.
I know you do. I just called a cliffhanger, so that
time flies.
And they're like, "Oh, geez, I get to figure out what happens next." So there we go.
I need to make a note of that. A cliffhanger, you say? I need to make use.
It's when you
of
hang from cliffs. A very instrumental movie, and me learning about that, was a movie from the 90s called Cliffhanger. It had Sylvester Stallone in it.
When
and the woman from Northern Exposure, I think.
John Lithgow was the bad guy in that, right?
Batfink.
Which one?
Batfink. was kind of like Batman, but it was an actual kind of bat thing. It was super weird. It might not have been in the US, but yeah, they had a cliffhanger.
Doesn't ring a bell, but I will look it up.
Bat thing. Interesting.
Okay. All right, so the crew of the Belafonte got in a little bit of a scrape. Is now out beyond the Cleftone Belt. You're searching around this old creepy hospital ship that has been long drifting in the outer reaches of the system, looking for a person who may or may not be a bloodthirsty, terrible assassin. So I'm sure everything's gonna go fine next time. Why don't we do a couple quick closing plugs and we'll get on out of here. So Levita, Mark, if you want to tell us what you all do, where we can find you, that kind of thing.
Levita?
Sure, we run horror games. I'm running one tomorrow night, Hunt of the Reckoning, which is fairly advanced at this point, but we're getting through it. We've also got Mothership coming up and an ongoing Cult Divinity Lost Black Madonna campaign, and we'll be recording a new podcast soon.
Thank you. See, no, I didn't need it.
Fantastic. Do you want to add anything to that, Mark?
What she said.
Okay. Fair enough. Who else we got? Steven, you make a game. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Jeff already mentioned it at the beginning of the session. I made a game called Huckleberry. It's an action horror Weird West game. You can go to huckleberryrpg.com/pre-order to pre-order your physical copy. We're getting very close to printing. So if you want a copy, use code LOLLY for $5 off.
Awesome. And as for us, we stream here next stream, maybe tomorrow night. We're doing some We're in Danger, which is the game I've been kind of tinkering with for a while. Tuesday night, we're planning to do some Wild Sea, where Kipser is running us through that. Thursday, we've got a Coriolis, the Great Dark campaign that we recently just started. And on Saturdays, we're streaming One Ring, second edition, also just started a campaign. So yeah, come check any of that kind of stuff out. But we'll see y'all later. Also, backer kit. Go take a look for Orbital Blues. It's Orbital Blues month over there. Get yourself some cool stuff. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.